This is a quick video about how the the integration between Timelapse and AddaxAI works. And when you're seeing this, you are probably already a Timelapse user. So I won't get into the details on how Timelapse works. I assume that you already have a Timelapse template and a project going on, like I have here with my test videos. So I'm testing this on videos, but it works exactly the same on images. That's no different. So I have some European videos here. All right, well, assuming you have this set up and you have your time-lapse database already, and you want to know the AI predictions. You want some AI models to run over your data. Well, then you go to the recognitions menu, and then you see a bunch of menu options, and you want to go to AddaxAI Image Recognizer. This one assumes that you already have the file that AddaxAI writes, which is not the case. And if you still need the file, like we do, you choose this one. So this one says run AddaxAI Recognizer on folder. That's what we want. If you do not have AddaxAI installed on this device yet, which is required, you can install it here. Well, it doesn't install it, it just goes to the web page where it's described on how to do that, and uninstalling over there. But we already have it installed on this device, so we click this. Then it asks, well, which folder do you want to get analyzed? It defaults to the one that you are viewing here in the other window. So generally you just want to say OK. Then there is a window opening here saying that AddaxAI is popping up. And there we have it. This is AddaxAI. It already points at the folder that you chose. And it says, well, there are 26 videos. These are the dates. Just to be clear, I won't get into all the settings and all the things that you can do in AddaxAI, because this video is meant purely on how the integration with Timelapse works. But if you're interested in that, then at the documentation website of AddaxAI, there are several different videos and pages that describe everything here. So I'll go through it relatively quickly. This is the folder that you chose. If you chose it in Timelapse, then you shouldn't change this, because that is just the right one already. Then the classification model, and this is important because it depends on where on Earth your data is from. And there are a bunch of different models in AddaxAI. Here's a list, so you can choose whichever one works best for you. And let's click one, and then you'll see something like this. It says, okay, you still need to download that extension, or you have to set it up, which makes sense because AddaxAI ships without any models, or at least not all models. So if you then press this one, then a window pops up, and it will show like a progress bar, and it downloads everything. And then that's a one-time thing. After that, you have the model locally, and then you can run everything offline. If you press model details, you see some description notes, and it's always good to read a few of these to see which one model works best for your data. So if you have several covering your area, for example, here in New Zealand, we have different models, and then you click one, you read the description and check the classes. There we go. And you can do that for all the other models. So please spend some time into finding the right model. And better yet, if you really want to work with AI for your camera trap data, then it is strongly advised to run a few different models on the same data set and see which one works best and how the models behave, and really get a feeling on the different models and also on AddaxAI and how it works. But that is a separate thing. We are just going to choose Europe because this is European data. I'm going to choose the last one. There we go. This one is species selection. Here we can choose. There we go. This model has 38 classes. And maybe not all 38 occur in your project area. So here you can say, for example, if wherever you're doing your camera traps doesn't have the bison, you can deselect it. No sheep, no wolf, whatever. And then you can apply it here, and then it will never predict the ones that you disabled. And that is a way to make sure that the model has less chance to predict a wrong species, so to say. I'm just going to include them all, otherwise I won't have my wolves. There we go. Here are a bunch of different settings. I'm not going to run through them now. I think the title and the explanation here says most of it. If you really want to learn more about all these things, then you should watch the guide video tutorial about Analyze a Folder on the documentation page. All right, then you press Start Analysis. And then there's a window popping up like this with a bunch of different progress bars. And each of these bars will have to go to 100%, and it depends on the previous one how long it takes, so it's really difficult to say how long it will go. If you press this, you can see like it's processing 1.5 seconds per video and remaining time, etc. Whether it's running on GPU or CPU, stuff like that. Yeah, I'm now just gonna fast forward this. There we go, analysis complete. Okay, so you got it, everything is done, AI has been run. The rest is post-processing. Okay, so what's next? And that depends on the requirements of your workflow. You can go straight to saving, or you can review and edit the labels. We're gonna do both. So I'm gonna click review and edit labels. And then you go to step 2. If you pressed go straight to export, you would skip 2 and go straight to 3. Again, not going into depth here, but this is a step where you can verify and edit labels that the AI gave to your species. Let's say this is a fox. It says this is a fox. You can double click it. You can check it. Yeah, all right, that's true. So if you press enter, it's indeed a fox. That is a fox. This is a lynx. Yeah, you can do that. That way, you can also select a range and press bulk actions like verification, mark false, all of these things, which I'll not get into depth here, you can also say this is, press R for relabel. This is not an equid, this is a squirrel. There we go. You can also say these are all squirrels. But that is how it works. And whatever you renamed your species, like let's say this is all an otter, and these are all fine. That's it. You verified all of them. You don't have to verify all of them. You can do 10%, you can do 0%, you can do whatever you want. It's just how much time you want to invest in checking the AI's labels. You can also just skip to 3, but now like all the relabels that I've got will be in the exports here. So this is where AddaxAI exports its results. There are a bunch of different options. Here you can do a whole lot of things by making copies of your data and stuff like that, but that is irrelevant for the goal that we're doing now, and that is creating a file for Timelapse to read. And that is this one, the JSON file. So this is basically the only thing that you need ticked. It says a preview here, which is a very boring preview now because it will just write one JSON file in your folder, which is log Simon03 in my demo dataset. This one is important though, the output folder. It will by default write it to the same folder as you've chosen at the setup step. And for a time-lapse, it's advised to just leave this as is. You can change it here, but then you'll need to look it up in Timelapse again. So if you don't have a good reason to put it somewhere else, I would just leave it here. Just leave it like it is now. And then you press Save Outputs. There we go. Yep. And then you can ignore those. It says it saved it to this folder, which is correct. You can open the output folder, and here you see those are your time-lapse stuff. These are your AddaxAI stuff. This one is actually from an old run, I think, because this one is the one that we need. Okay, you can close AddaxAI now. Not needed anymore. This one is saying that AddaxAI is starting up. Well, that has happened. And then you're back in Timelapse and you go to recognitions, and then you do import image recognition data for this image set. And that is this one that we just created via AddaxAI. You open it and it's loading and it says, well, it's imported. Great. There we go. Wolf, Equidae, Wolf, links, stuff like that. So if we now just zoom in and you press play, then you see it there. One thing that I'm just thinking about now, because you see the box moving very coarsely, and that is because AddaxAI analyzes only 1 frame per second by default. You can change that in the advanced settings I showed you, but that is why the box is so moving so coarsely. And that's that. That's your AI predictions in Timelapse, and you can do stuff with it. You can do all different kind of options, and the whole Timelapse universe is available now. Let's see. Yep. Then I have only one thing to add, and that is, let's minimize this. that was one way to open AddaxAI on that folder. You can also just open AddaxAI the normal way. And then you need to pick this workflow, analyze a folder. If you do this one, you would get in a place where you cannot export any time-lapse recognition files. You need this one.